What is up, everybody? Welcome, welcome, welcome. So excited to see you guys. So excited for today's session. Again, this is our Q4 agency growth plan session. We're going to help you map out your plan to crush it in the fourth quarter. More sales, more revenue, better retention, and really position yourself for a lot of success going into the new year. So before we get started, because I still got a lot of people in the waiting room, we got a lot of people getting set up. If you could turn your webcams on, that way we can make this an interactive session. Be ready to engage with me. Just give me a 1 in the comments if you're hearing me okay. I see Jeff says hyped to be here. Awesome. I see a lot of 1s coming in. Fantastic. Guys, on the team, if you could keep an eye on as people are coming into the waiting room, just admitting them. That way we can make sure everybody gets added in. Okay, before we start, one thing I'd really like to know is what type of agency do you run? Are you full service? Are you a niche agency? I say a niche or general, I think would be super helpful to start out, just so I know what type of agency. General being like you work with anybody, niche being you work with a very specific vertical like churches or plumbers or roofers or AC contractors. All right, I'm gonna try and keep up with the comments here. All right, so we get Jeremy's niche, Raymond's full service, Josh's niche, amazing. Jeff is general, home exterior contract. Okay, that's good too. You can just drop the niche in. Awesome. We got lots of niche focused agencies in the room, smart agencies. That's in my mind, and I'll probably say briefly on the session, I really believe the fastest way to grow is to be in one particular vertical, have one specific program that you sell and systematize it, right? So that you can really position yourself as the go-to expert in your space. Cool. That gives me a sense. We got some niche agencies, we got some generalist agencies in here as well. The other question I'd like to know is when you think about your service offering, like what's the main thing that you do? Is it full service? Like full service to me is you're doing website SEO, pay-per-click, social media, or are you like just doing a very specific subsect of that? Maybe you're really focused on SEO, or you're very focused on Google ads, or maybe it's social ads, or maybe it's a combination of those. Let's see, we got full service. Whitney says search marketing, full service. Kevin, lots of full service, some very specific vertical specialties in the room. Amazing. Excellent. Okay, cool. Welcome aboard. That gave everybody a second to kind of get logged in as well. It also gave me an idea kind of where you're at in your agency, what you're doing. Are you niche? Are you general? So thanks for engaging with me. I would love it if we can make this a two-way conversation throughout the course of today's session. Right. So instead of me just talking at you for the next 90 minutes, I'll kind of talk about something and I'll ask a question and we'll have a dialogue in the chat. Maybe we'll unmute you and be able to have conversation, answer your questions as we go. But other than that, sounds great. One thing I'm going to ask you to do is rename yourself. So some of you guys are listed as like obviously Raymond Farrell and Alex S. and Amanda Reed. That's great. I'd also love to know your company name. So if you could just go in and like, where you see the participant list on the side, you can rename yourself, rename it to your first name, last name, and then dash your company name. So for me, I would rename myself real quick here, just for context. And again, this helps me have a context in the room. Oops, I hit the wrong thing. Hopefully everybody's doing this while we go, but I can go rename and then a Josh Nelson dash in a 7-figure agency. And my agency, Plumbing and HVAC SEO. So that's really what I'd like to see is like, what's the name of your agency? Give everyone a second to get that done. Mike, Blue Diamond Plumbing, amazing, working in the financial services. Fantastic. All right, thanks for doing that, everybody. So here's the plan. Here's what we're going to do on today's session. Again, this is a special session for all of us because it feels like this year has just run by, right? It feels like just yesterday we were celebrating 2023 and hey, it's a new year, so exciting, so many goals and ambitions, but we're at the fourth quarter, which means October, November, December, that's all she wrote, and 2023 is done and we're off to 2024. Just put fast in the comments if it feels to you a little bit like, man, this year went super fast. I'm sure I'm going to see lots of fast. So the more intentional you can be, Matt Coffee, great to see you on here. The more intentional you can be with pausing yourself for a minute and resetting goals, resetting targets, and building an action plan, the kind of the better you can be at slowing the speed of inertia, and getting the outcomes that you set out for yourself. So we're going to do three main things on today's session. Number one, we're going to set clear goals and targets for the quarter. Like, we're going to make sure we're laser focused. If nothing else happens, here's where I'm going to get to by the end of this quarter. Here's how many clients, here's how much recurring revenue. Get that written down, get it front and center, and anchor that. Number two, and probably more important, is we're going to map an action plan, right? Anybody could say, I'm going to build to, 350,000 in a monthly recurring by the end of the year, but you got to spend a little bit of time at mapping the plan. So if that's the goal, how many clients do you have to land? What do those clients have to be worth on a monthly retainer basis? And what are you going to do to actually get them? And so that's what we're going to do there. And ultimately, I believe if we crush it in the fourth quarter, we're going to set ourselves up for momentum going into the beginning of 2024, which will carry us into the new year, which is really what we all want. So if we can get these three things done, set new goals and targets, have a clear action plan, and just crush it in the third quarter, just give me a yes if that feels like it'll be a productive use of our time on today's session. All right, I'm seeing lots of yeses. Fantastic. So here's my promise to you. In the process of kind of helping you guys map out your plan for the fourth quarter, I'm also going to show a plan that, if followed, will absolutely help you add an additional $1 million in annualized revenue to your business. Whether that's going from $1 million to $2 million, from $3 million to $4 million, or whether that's just building the first $1 million, we've got the plan, and we're going to show you exactly how to put that in place within your agency. And this isn't based just on my business, Plumbing and HVAC SEO, which now does about $5 million per year, made the Inc. 5000 list of fastest growing companies 4 years in a row. But now we've got hundreds of agencies that have come through this process and built seven-figure and multiple seven-figure agencies. Is it okay with you if I share some examples and case studies and kind of fill in the gaps for you as we go? Just give me a 1 in the comments if you're okay if I share some of the success stories of actual members that have implemented this to bridge the gap. So it goes from theory to like, okay, I see when I do this, it's going to drive better outcomes in my agency as well. Quick community stats, because you're here kind of, the building this plan as part of a free session we're doing for the digital marketing agency success community. And so whether you came into my world because you read the book, The Seven-Figure Agency Roadmap, or you downloaded one of our lead magnets, I'm happy to pour value into you today. And what's really exciting is our seven-figure agency community, which is the paid side of this, right? Where you pay for coaching and support and really access to a community, is best in class. And I'll just hit this real quick so you kind of know the context of the community. There's now 237 active members, part of seven-figure agency. 95 of those members are doing 7 figures or more. So these are agencies that have gone to 7 figures and beyond. 34 are doing multiple 7 figures. That could be super high in the 7-figure, multiple 7-figure range. The average revenue in the group is $71,000 in monthly recurring revenue. And cumulatively, just looking at our 7-figure agency member community, we do over $213 million per year in annualized revenue. So you're kind of tapping into the ideas of a $100 million mastermind. So I say that to give you some confidence that if you invest your energy in this and you follow the processes, you're tapping into some great information and some great strategies that will accelerate your growth. And of course, at the end, if you're interested and you want to learn more about how to become part of seven-figure agency and how we can help support you on that journey, I will talk a little bit about that, completely optional. So if you're at the end, you're like, hey, I got what I needed, and you want to hop, that's fine. So just give me a yes if that's okay with you. If at the end, we kind of have the opportunity to show you guys how you can work with us and how we can help you implement. Okay, cool. You guys are awesome. Lots of yeses. That's super awesome. And I'm excited to say seven-figure agency as an organization is one of the fastest growing companies in the United States. We rank 275 on the list of fastest growing companies in the United States. So, this is an exciting movement, and our mission is to help 500 agencies go to 7 figures and multiple 7 figures over the next 5 years. And I really believe you being on here, you're going to be part of that journey. And I'm fully committed to help you accomplish that in your business. So let's get into the growth plan. Let's start to build on our plan and our strategy. At the beginning of any quarter, and again, as we're doing this today, it's the 28th, right, of September. So we still got a couple of days left. But at the end of any quarter, what I like to do is 4 key things. Number one, I like to spend a couple of minutes reviewing. How did we do last quarter? Are we on track or are we off track? Where did we exceed target? Where did we miss target? Like, looking back is a powerful thing to bring lessons forward. Number two, I think we always have to spend a couple minutes to celebrate, because you're going to get more of what you celebrate, right? So whether you crushed your goals or not, there's always something positive that happened. There's always some momentum that took place. And if you don't celebrate that forward momentum, you're going to lose it, right? And if you've got a team now, whether it's account managers or a sales team, and you're not bringing them on this journey with you and say, hey, here was the goal, here's what we accomplished, here's what's good, and share some praise and like do something to celebrate as an organization, you're going to lose your momentum. You're going to lose that forward mobility. So we want to do those two things, but then most importantly, we want to reset and refocus, which means, all right, now we've looked back, now it's time to look forward. Next quarter, what are the new goals? What are the new targets? What's the new action plan? And really, that's what I want to spend the meat and potatoes of today's session doing, and make sure that you leave the session extremely laser focused. So if nothing else, just rewriting down like what the goal for the end of the year is, how many clients, how much recurring revenue, having it like in front of you, ideally on a whiteboard somewhere where you have to see it every day, will subconsciously move you towards the accomplishment of that goal, towards the accomplishment of that outcome. So before we get into the planning piece, I just want to spend a couple of minutes having you look back on Q3. How did you do? Hopefully, coming into this session, you set some goals and some targets for the third quarter, which would have been June, July, and August, right? Or July, August, September. How did you do? So Matt says terrible. That's okay, right? But on target if you're on target, off target if you're off target. Tegra says just getting started. Spend a couple seconds just recognizing, right? Because most of you guys, or some of you guys, were with us for the annual planning session that we did, where we set goals and targets for the year. If you don't spend time to look back and say, hey, am I actually doing those things that I set out to accomplish or not? It becomes a waste of energy. So we got some on targets, we got some off targets. I think it's powerful even if you're off target, because awareness precedes change, right? Something that you set, all right, you set a target, something about the action plan and the actions that you took didn't work out, right? So that means there was something missing in the actions. And so the only way you're going to change the outcome going forward is if you take different actions and you kind of make some adjustments to that plan. Excellent. So we've talked a little bit about what we're doing here. What I want to do now is I want to get into workbook mode. And so we've got a workbook we put together specifically for this session. I'm going to drop the link, or somebody on the team, if you could drop this link, and I'll share my screen, and we're going to get into this. And this will be a working session today. This won't just be me talking about it. I want you guys to be working through this as we go. And I'm going to pull up my screen here, and we can get right into it. I think I just saw Matt say he's on a $3 million run rate. That is amazing. Congratulations. Let me make sure I'm sharing the right tab. Hold on one second. My face is going. All right. You guys should be seeing my workbook now, right? Q4 planning session. Give me a 1 in the comments if you're seeing it. I want everyone to pull this up. And it should be making a copy for you. If it's not, oh, that's why. Let's make sure we all have the workbook, because this is going to drive what we're doing. Go there. It should automatically make a copy of this. And if you've got the ability, I don't know how big your monitor is. I got like a massive monitor in front of me. But if you have the ability to have one open with me, so you can see me and my screen right now, and another one open with the actual doc, that would be perfect. So I don't want to jump too far ahead, but I want to make sure everyone's got access to the document, has either made a copy of it that is editable. So give me a 1 again, one more time in comments. Looks like Mike was able to make a copy, which is great. Maximo. Perfect. All right, cool. Ideally, you've got it. Guys, please watch the chat if anybody needs it. Jeremy, Justin, just drop that in for them. Susan's having an issue. Susan, here. Yeah, assuming you're on Google Docs, which I think everybody is, if you follow that link, it'll open up the document. You can either go File, Make Copy, or it should automatically make a copy for you unless there's something wrong with the link. Susan's not on Google Docs. Okay. All right. I'm going to get into it. Try and keep up with me the best you guys can. So on previous sessions, and if you've read the book, again, this isn't a teach session today, but the model is we have to solve for three things, right? We got to land clients, we got to deliver world-class results, we got to retain long-term, and then we got to put the systems and procedure in place to scale, right? That's the model that we have to put in place. So to land clients, we have to fill our funnel, right? We have to have a process to get prospects interested in what we have, raising their hand, expressing some level of interest on a very consistent basis. We have to build authority, which means we got to not just cold outreach people, but we've got to have content. We've got to have assets. We've got to have case studies so that we're looked to as the authority in the space, so that we're not like pushing up the hill, but we're actually pushing down the hill. And we've got to have a nice tight sales process where we can consistently convert interested prospects into retainer-based clients, right? And if we can get those three things dialed in, we will be landing clients on a very consistent basis. In our agency, we shoot for 6 to 7 new clients per month. Sometimes we go higher, sometimes we go less. There are some people in the program like Chris Rodriguez and Brady Sticker that are landing like 30 and 40 clients per month because they've got this client acquisition engine dialed in. So really, if we want three things in our business, we want to make more money, we want to have more freedom, we want to have a bigger impact. Step one, make more money. We've got to have a process to land clients like clockwork within our agency. Number two is we've got to deliver world-class results. Like we have to actually knock it out of the park for our clients. We got to make it rain for our clients. We got to be able to generate the results that they're expecting. And we do that by choosing our model, which I'm going to talk about very briefly here. Got to have the right model, right? Because the wrong model makes everything so much harder. It makes it much harder to get the outcomes we're after. Number two is we have to systematize, right? Which means we have to put the playbooks in place. We have to put the procedures in place and the project management system in place so we don't do it all ourselves, right? Regardless of where you're at in your agency right now, if you're still personally, setting up projects and doing whatever it is, like setting up the websites, creating the content, that's a problem. You have to create systems and remove yourself from operations as quickly as possible. And number three is you've got to build your team, right? You're not going to go to 7 figures and multiple 7 figures and beyond trying to do it yourself. And one of the master skills you have to develop to build a truly scalable agency is you have to get good at recruiting, hiring, onboarding, and managing your team, right? And when you do it that way, when you choose the model, you systematize your delivery, and you build a great team around you, you're going to generate freedom, right? Because you want to make sure you're not just growing your revenue without increasing the freedom. And then number three, in order to retain the clients long-term, we've got to have world-class onboarding, like where there's just a great world-class experience right out of the gates. We got to have a great communication rhythm in terms of what we're reporting to the clients, how often we're reporting to the clients, how we're meeting with the clients and keeping them excited and engaged. And we have to build our client success management system, which is, as you grow, what does your account management team look like? How are you hiring account managers? How are you training account managers? When you put all of these key processes in place, you will absolutely have an agency that can scale to whatever level you want, right? So that you can make the money that you want, so that you can have the freedom that you want, and then so that you can have the impact that you want because the clients are getting the results. So with that said, really the model that I believe works best and the model that I preach in the book, the model that we train all of our 7-figure agencies on is one niche. And that's either, whatever a specific industry. Could be med spas, could be chiropractors, could be roofers, right? I know as agencies, we can work with everybody, but you really simplify your life by choosing one particular industry to specialize in. Make sure that you're only selling recurring projects. So when you get a client, not a one-off project, but a monthly recurring fee where they're going to pay you $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 per month, and it goes on into perpetuity. So no one-off projects, no check payments, no partial deposits, no amount less than $1,000 per month. And I think you could go to the moon with this. There's agencies in the program charging over $10,000, $15,000 per month. But I think there's a sweet spot, depending upon your comfort level, between $1,000 and $2,500 per month that regardless of the vertical that you're in, there's a more than enough businesses in any vertical that will happily pay and stay paying at that amount as long as there's a result. And so, again, if we're thinking about our Q4 plan, I really think we want to make sure we're built on a foundation that's strong, that we can build from, and not something that's like, oh, I got the wrong model. And regardless of how good my goal is, regardless of how good my plan is, I don't have a model that's built to win. And so, in 5 minutes or less, there's the model that I truly believe works best. I want to give you just a minute to audit your current model. So this is your first opportunity to engage here in the workbook. Spend a couple minutes and think, like, current situation. Are you just doing one niche, or maybe you started taking on a lot of different niches, or maybe are you just general at this point? In terms of programs, do you have like one main program that you can systematize, that you deliver again and again with predictable results? Or are you reinventing the wheel from one client to the next client, which absolutely is a scale killer for your business? What's your monthly fee? Are you getting 1,000 or more? Like, what is that monthly fee today? And then how much of your business right now as a percentage is project versus recurring? So if it's all recurring, like what we do in our agency and all the other seven-figure agents, you put 100%. If it's like 50-50, 50% project, 50% recurring, just spend a couple of minutes getting clear on the current model here on the left column. If you have any questions, please chime in. For those of you that logged in late, and I know a couple of you guys just logged in, while the rest of us are filling that in, be sure to pull up this document here. Can somebody drop it in chat? Maybe Justin, if you haven't already. There you go. Jeremy did it. All right. So going through our current situation, I'm going to give you guys a full minute on that. And if it's all checks, that's great, right? You're like, I got a good model. I can confidently, just full speed ahead into the fourth quarter. But if it's not, like, let's make these so that you get it honed in the fourth quarter and really be off to the races going into 2024. And if you have any questions as you're filling this part in, type in the comments. What does recurring mean? So recurring is, if somebody's going to pay you $1,000 every single month, it means it comes in every single month versus a one-time fee of like, hey, I'm going to pay me $5,000 and I'll build your website and I'll do your SEO. And then there's no recurrence to that. To really scale your agency, you want all recurring. George, what services can we offer $1,000 a month? If you just did Facebook ads, or if you just did Google ads, you could charge $1,000 per month. Like, and as long as you're doing a good job, obviously ad spend separate to that. But in what is a program? So a program would be the mix of services that you provide. So for our agency, what we do is our online dominance program, which is we're going to build a website that's built to convert. We're going to optimize it for all the keywords by creating pages for each of the services, pages for each of the cities. So we're going to do website, then we're going to do SEO. We're going to drive paid search through Google Ads and retargeting. We're going to put the tracking in place so that we know exactly what leads are coming in, what the average cost per lead is, what the return on investment is, and we're going to optimize it all on an ongoing basis. So we do all of that stuff, and it's $3,500 a month, right? And that's our suite of services. So when we started Plumbing and HVAC SEO, we were selling that similar program for about $1,500 per month. And we've kind of increased it as we got better results. Yes, I'll make sure you guys get record this. So just on this model, good questions, guys. I appreciate you guys engaging with me here in the comments. Did you find something you need to tweak? Right? I promise you, if you can have one niche, have one program that you sell again and again, and then you can increase that monthly fee to at least $1,000 per month, all you have to do is land like 5 clients every month, and you can get to $1 million run rate in less than 12 months. Good. Just type model if you feel like your model is nice and tight, or at least you know what you need to change with your model going into the fourth quarter to get the best outcomes possible. Bam. Love it. All right, so a question in here. So Mike, I'm going to try and answer this real quick, and then we're going to keep pressing forward. So with program, if that is a bundle package, multiple services, SEO, PPC, GBP, would you avoid seeing one-off recurring services, just SEO, for example? Yeah, and so I'll tell you why. So his question is, if we bundle it, what could we just sell SEO as part? And you can have a drop sell for that. What I found from a retention perspective is if you just do Google Ads or if you just do SEO, a lot of times you have a single point of failure, which means even if you did a good job with the SEO, if for some reason they don't rank that month or something happens and it doesn't come off the blocks, they're going to start to get upset and they're going to cancel. When you've got a suite of services, like you can say, hey, look, we're building this website. We're going to focus on getting it ranked organically. We're going to drive traffic. Maybe we're going to do database reactivation as well. Even if the SEO doesn't come off quick, the pay-per-click can start to generate some results and start to generate some return on investment. So the combination of services, in my mind, now working with hundreds of agencies, works best because you've got more hooks in the client from a retention perspective. You're also going deeper with that client and getting involved in a lot of different aspects, and you can blend the result across what you do. Mike, hopefully that makes sense. If you have any follow-up questions on that, let me know. Excellent. So now we've got the model, right? I didn't want to go too long on this, but hopefully we hit the key insights here. I want to start with a quick snapshot. So right now, let's just say it was October 1st, but at this current moment where we sit today, where are you in your business? Right here in this section inside the workbook, just write it down. How many clients do you have right now? And how much is the recurring revenue? Right. So maybe if you maybe you got 176 clients, right? And you're doing 400,000 a month of recurring. Maybe you've got one client, right? I know we're all in different places. Just put that in. It's really important that as you start a new quarter, you're super clear, like where are we right now? What's the current situation in the business? And if you feel so bold, type it in the comments for me too. Let me know where you are in your agency today. So this should not take long, and I don't want to know how many clients you built a website for, built an app for. Like I want to know how many clients are running recurring based programs with you and how much is the recurring revenue. All right. A-Train, 4 and 4. Melvin, just getting started. A couple startups here. Rob, 7 at 17. John, 21 active clients. Just getting started with 1. Excellent. You're in the right place. 4 clients, 6,800. An amazing foundation to build from. All right, perfect. This is great. We've got a great foundation here that you guys have all shared. I just want to share a model with you that I think is going to be helpful. And then we're going to get into mapping the next quarter, but really consciously doing this every single quarter, recognizing where you are in your business, like how many clients, how much recurring revenue is super important. A lot of times I see agencies, selling project work and they don't really have a base that's growing every single month. When you recognize I need a monthly recurring fee and no client stays forever, right? You're going to have churn that happens within the business. But knowing, like in Roberto's case, I got 19 clients at $2,400 a month. That's my base, and I'm going to grow that every month as we go. I wanted to share this model because these are the stages that we find agencies go through, from startup, stability, scale, significance, all the way to what we call Titan status. But at startup, you're less than $10,000 in monthly recurring, which means every single month, it's less than $10,000 a month coming in. This is an exciting place to be, but you want to get out of that as quickly as possible, right? You want to put the systems in place to get at least 10 grand so that you can start to be in stability. At stability, you're at $10,000 to $30,000 a month in monthly recurring revenue. And it's a little bit more comfortable, but there's not usually enough money to really like pay yourself a lot of money or have any of the luxuries, because at this point, usually you're trying to figure out how to do what you're doing for the client. You're trying to how to make sure those clients stick with you. Ideally, you're thinking about, man, maybe I need a VA, maybe I need some support staff to get some of this work done to keep up with the client base. And then we go to scale, and this is where things start to get excited at $40,000 to $70,000 in monthly recurring revenue. At scale, you're able to shift gears a little bit from doing most of it yourself to starting to build that team, the account management team, the marketing support team, and all of the different roles that you need within the organization, all the way through to significance, which is where you're at 83,000 or more in monthly recurring revenue. I call it significance because at that stage, you get enough money to pay your desired lifestyle, do things you want to do, but you've also had to build a team. You've had to build some consistency and actually deliver for clients, otherwise they wouldn't be staying with you. And then level 5 is multiple 7 figures on the way to 8 figures And that's really where you're developing your leadership team, you're implementing EOS, you're putting all those systems in place. And so now that you guys have filled in your snapshot, let me know in the comments, what stage are you at right now? Like, just in the comments, are you at startup? Are you at stability? Are you at scale? Are you at significance? Matt, you're probably up at Titan status, right? You're starting to go up that ladder. All right, we got some startup in here. Excellent. Scale. Fantastic. Stability. Thank you. Amazing. Fantastic. Okay, cool. So I think it's helpful, every quarter to kind of see where you're at in these stages and see, like, what kind of progress are you making? Are you moving through these stages at the quickness that you could or that you should? All right, back to our workbooks. I want everyone to scroll down. 2025 goals. So we're going to get into the quarter, but I think it's important to look big picture just for a minute and just get clear on, like, where are you trying to go with this business? Blue sky thinking for a minute, projecting out 2 years into the future. Where would you like the business to be? How many clients? How much recurring revenue? Just put that down and don't try and get super scientific on this. Just what's the goal? Jennifer's going to 100K a month. I love it. 10 clients at 10K. Love it. So I want you guys to put that down. Put it down in the comments. How many clients, how much recurring revenue, and then most importantly, why? So, like, if the goal is to build an 8-figure agency, which a lot of us, that's the goal, right? Which is $10 million or more per year. Why? Is it so that you can, maybe you want an airplane, maybe you want to live in a luxury home, maybe you want to be able to give back to your church, maybe you want to be able to retire your wife or your husband so that they don't have to work at the job that they hate, right? What's your why? The clearer you are on why you want to get to that level, the more likely you're going to take the actions that you're actually going to get the outcomes that you're after. Mike's going to get to 20K by the end of this year. Love it. I think that's a super attainable target, especially based on what you said you are right now. Yes, for some of us, it's to sell it, to get acquired. More stability for the family, says Mike. Okay, perfect. So just that we didn't spend a ton of time, like, kind of getting crazy with this, but we spent a couple minutes thinking about where we want to go long term. And we should always look back at, like, what's the long-term plan? Where are we trying to go within this organization? Now, let's get into the quarter. Tactically speaking, we've got 3 months left in this year, October, November, and December. I want you to be super specific. I want you to know exactly what your target for October is, exactly what your target for November is, and exactly what your target for December is. When you have clarity of your goal and you know exactly where you're trying to go, you can create momentum, right? If you're in a place of stagnation or, like, you're just kind of floating around the same number, oftentimes it's because you haven't gotten super clear to create that momentum. So I've got a worksheet that you guys can all open up. So in the workbook, you can either do this manually, which is okay, or you can pull up this worksheet that I've linked to within the document and make a copy of that. And it's called Quarterly Planning Sheet and KPI. I found this is just a little bit easier to project that 3-month run rate. And what I want you to do is enter that starting point information. So in my particular case, if I was doing, let's say I had 150 clients and we were doing 375,000 in monthly recurring revenue, that would be what I'd put in here as my starting point. And then what's your baseline metrics, which means how much does a client pay you? If it's $1,500, if it's $750, whatever that number is, should be more than $1,000 per month. I'm just going to put in $3,500 for ourselves. And then let's say our target is 7 clients a month. That will help you plot out where you're trying to get to by the end of the quarter. So in this case, 7 new clients would be a $24,000 increase in revenue. We go from 157 clients to 164 clients to 171. That's the goal for the end of the year, and $448,000 in monthly recurring revenue. Don't necessarily work on this yourselves just yet, but just give me a yes if what I've just explained makes sense to you. And you're tracking along with me. Okay, cool, awesome. I think it makes sense, but sometimes people don't understand. Okay, cool. So just real quick, I want you to plug that in. Plug in where you're going to be. So Chaz, I'll do it one more time. In your workbook, you should have opened this spreadsheet. And it's going to make a copy of it. And it will look like this. Quarterly targets, I want you to put in how many clients you have right now and what your recurring revenue is. Then I want you to put in what your average monthly client is worth. And then here, how many clients per month? We're shooting for 1 client a month, 3 clients a month, 5 clients a month. That's what you put here. And then we'll automatically figure out, based on where you are, where you should be by the end of each month. We're not putting churn rate on this. I do have a separate sales retention tracking sheet. You probably, if you're already kind of at the scale stability phase, you can probably anticipate like a 5% monthly churn. But yes, you should consider it. Just for the sake of this exercise, we're just shooting for net revenue growth. But in the perfect world, we're shooting for 3% churn per month. It's like if you've got everything dialed in, you're probably looking at about a 3% churn at scale. If you're more than 5% churn per month, which means if you've got 10 clients, you're going to lose 1 or 2 clients for the quarter. You probably need to work on that a little bit. So Canal, hopefully that answered the question. All right, everyone should have been able to fill in this worksheet. Melvin says, I just want to be able to leave my full-time job, at least $10,000 a month, hopefully more. The whole startup is a little bit overwhelming to me. I'm not good with the tech stuff. My son is special needs. I want to be able to bring him home and pay someone to help me at home. Single father, sorry for Cooper. No, thanks for sharing, Melvin. And I think that's 10K is very, very attainable, right? You probably either need to get somebody that is good with the tech stuff, or you need to get with a white label provider. But yeah, super strong why. Can't edit the form. So if you can't edit it, it's probably because you haven't made a copy of it. So what you want to do is open this document, go file, make a copy, and then you'll have your own version that you can edit from. Does that make sense? Michelle, hopefully. Awesome. Yes. Okay. Perfect. All right. So again, one of our main objectives for this session is to help you get really clear on where you're at and where you're going to be by the end of the year, and then reverse engineer. So what does that mean you need to do in October? What does that mean you need to do in November? What does that mean you need to do in December? What I want you to do is fill in that sheet and then hop back into your Google Doc here and put in the number of new clients for each of these quarters, each of these months, how much your MRR is going to grow based on that. And you can use the worksheet I just gave you in Excel. It should make it much easier to plug this in. And then how many clients will you have by the end of October, by the end of November, by the end of December? So if you're starting with 5 and you're adding 3, so it would be 8, 12, 15, right? Hopefully that makes sense. All right. Give me a 1 if you've got this filled in. I don't think this should take a lot of time. Or give me a 2 if you're like, I'm working on it, but I need a little more time. I see a lot of 1s, so that's a good indication. All right, so for those of you that do have it done, let me know in the chat, like what's the target then? Where are we going to be by December? How many clients? How much recurring revenue? Just drop some numbers in for me. How many clients? How much recurring revenue by the end of the year? By the end of this quarter? All right, 30K, love it. Clint, 36,500. Rob, excellent. Mike, 20K by the end of the quarter. 3 clients per month, great target. Nikki, 60K. Jeff, 35. Simone, 7.8. All right, let's get you guys out of that startup phase into the scale phase. Amazing. Okay, cool. So hopefully this is clarity, right? We know where we're going to be. One thing I want to suggest is, if you're really committed to that goal, right? If you really want to accomplish that $30,000 a month, that $50,000 a month, whatever the number is that you wrote down, make it visible for yourself. Like a lot of us work in a digital world, which means we've got spreadsheets and we've got Google Docs and we've got Evernote and we've got Notability, and it's all like on a computer, but we don't see it. And so what I encourage you, if you've got a whiteboard, like I've got a whiteboard over here, write it down. By this time at the end of the year, I'm going to have this many clients and this much recurring revenue, and make it present. By the end of October, I need this amount. By the end of November, I need this amount. Like the more visible you can make it. And if you work in a physical office where the team is there, make sure they see it and they know it. If you work in a digital environment and you happen to work on Slack, send a Slack message out at the beginning of each week. Hey guys, Don't forget, this is what we're shooting for. This is where we want to go this quarter. This is where we need to be by the end of this month. Give me a 1 if you're clear. Like you're like, bam, I know where we're going to be by the end of the year. I've broken it down by month. I've got a tracking mechanism where I can see exactly where we're at. Amazing. Okay. Next thing we want to do is now let's build the plan. And I think a lot of people enjoy this exercise right here. It's like, oh man, I can set a goal, I can set a target, but a goal without a plan is just a dream, right? What we want to make it is something actionable, something achievable. And so the reality is, how many clients per month did most of you guys put? Put the number. So what did you put down? I think Mike said 3. Did you put 5 clients? Did you put 7 clients? How many clients did you put that you're going to get per month? Couple of 1s, couple of 4s, couple of 3s, 21, says John. Amazing. 5. I'm not going to constrain any of you, right? Whatever number you picked is fine. But in order to hit that target, you need to be super clear on the KPI. What's the actual number that you need to achieve in order to make that a reality? And that's the number of sales appointments, strategy sessions, meetings with prospects in your niche that is required in order to hit that target. I find most people will set a goal like this for their agency, and they'll rely on word of mouth, or they'll rely on referrals, and they don't know. Like if they met with 2 or 3 people, they're hoping that maybe they can get to the goal. The reality is you have to have an engine to get appointments, and then you have to have a sales process to convert appointments, and you need to know how many appointments you're shooting for. And so that's where this second tab in your worksheet comes into play, the KPI calculator here. And so look at my screen, and then you can go back to your own sheet and look at this. And let's say a lot of you guys said 4 clients per month. We're going to write that down. And then the next question is, what's your closing ratio? Are you closing 25%, 30%, 50% potentially? I'll tell you the average closing ratio for agency-specific services is 12%, right? We close at about 35% in our agency because we're well-positioned. We got a great sales process. Clients come to us pre-positioned to buy. And it goes higher than that. It goes lower than that. But realistically, don't put 50% close ratio, because you're probably not actually closing 50% of your sales appointments. Let's just say it's 25%. If you don't know, put 25% just as a guess. That will then spit out the number of strategy sessions you need to shoot for every single month. And if you've got a sales team, this will tell you how many appointments you need to set up for your sales team. Because I don't meet with people anymore. I've got a sales team that take these calls. But this will give you a good indication. If the goal is 4 clients per month, and we got a 25% close ratio, that's 16 strategy sessions per month at a minimum. And if you're not getting 16 strategy sessions, you need to do more cold outreach, or you need to do more prospecting, or you need to get that Facebook ads campaign going, or you need to do something that's going to fill your funnel to the tune of 16 plus strategy sessions per month. I'm shooting for 1%, 100%, 100 contacts to 1 client. Okay, so that's like one step behind that. I think that's great that you can track to that level. But what you really need to know is, how many people do you need to meet with every single month in a real qualified sales environment to expect to get that outcome? Let's see. Jeff says, do we need to schedule more due to show rate? Yeah, I mean, if your show rate, you could get crazy with this stuff, right? If your show rate's only 80%, then that's how many scheduled appointments you need. We're just trying to figure out how many conducted strategy sessions on your calendar, either whether it's Calendly or the high-level calendar, whatever calendar system you use. How many do you need? And I want you to know this number, and I want you to track this number, right? John says, I need 8. Chaz says, I need 10. Donna says, about 30 appointments. Okay, excellent. I want you guys all to know this number, right? Because this is the actual number you need to track to. Typically, I'm saying you want to shoot for 15. And that's very manageable if you're still selling yourself and you've still got operations you're running within the business, you're involved in a lot of different things. That's only, 3 appointments, 4 appointments per 4 appointments per week. Very, very manageable. Let's see. Type the number in. Jeff says I need 8. 15 is a good target for everybody, kind of as a minimum bar. $15, excellent. Okay, so that's important, right? Really what we're trying to engineer is, where do we want to be by the end of the year? How many clients do I need to land per month to make that a reality? And then how does that work out in terms of how many appointments I need to schedule in order to make that happen within my business? So the next piece of what we need to look at then is, how do we get those strategy sessions? How do we consistently get to 10, 15, 20 strategy sessions per month? I'm going to share my screen for this part, and we're going to kind of unpack it a little bit. I would love to answer any questions that you guys have on this, because I think the clearer you are on the actions that you need to take, the better the outcomes, right? The better the probability you're actually going to make it happen. And so this is what we call the agency growth system. And these are the things you want to be sure that you're doing daily, monthly, quarterly within your agency to hit those targets and to get those outcomes. So first of all, I really believe you got to be doing some level of cold outreach, especially if you're at the startup phase in your business, less than $10,000 in monthly recurring revenue. Even if you're in stability, kind of like less than 30, there's no reason you shouldn't be getting list data of prospects, sending introductions, and warm introducing yourself to prospects every single day. That's going to lead to either people scheduling in with you and or people getting added to your list that you can nurture and develop relationships with over time. And so that's the cold outreach formula. Lots of different things you can do. But at the end of the day, we want to get a list. We want to have an outreach process for that list via email, via text message, via social messenger, via the phone. And we want to be making an offer. A couple of the offers we find best is, hey, we're looking to work with just one person in your area right now. And here's what we've done for others. Another play would be, hey, can you handle an additional X? Can you handle an additional 3 to 5 projects this month, right? And here's how we can get it. You're just looking to get responses and people that you can have conversations with. You should be doing some level of cold outreach every single day. And if you're already at scale, you should be developing a team that could be managing that cold outreach for you. And that's something that should constantly be running in the background or in the foreground in your agency. Every single month, and this is a little bit more practical for most of us, every single month you should be doing at least one educational webinar and one podcast. This is positioning. Like, this kind of will fill your funnel. This will position you as the expert, help you create more content and become more magnetically attractive to the prospects in your niche. And so what I say with a monthly webinar is, if you've got a list of prospects that you've done some level of cold outreach to, now once a month you're saying, hey, I'm going to be doing a webinar on whatever topic: how to get ranked for the most important keywords, how to make sure your website is built to convert, how to leverage Google Ads in order to generate more leads and sales, how to put marketing automation in place specific to your niche. And you email about it and you post about it on social media, and then you show up and you do the meeting. And believe it or not, just one webinar per month will force you to create new content. It will also start to position you as an expert, and the people that you cold called or you cold outreach to in the past will start to think of you a little bit different, and they'll start to come to you pre-positioned to buy. And so you can do that with webinars. You can also do podcasting, which in my mind is extremely easy to do, extremely powerful. And that's just where you interview a client or you interview somebody in your niche on what they're doing to grow and scale, right? You ask them what they do to market, how they get their phones ringing, what they do to generate online reviews. You just have a conversation and you record that live, and then you post it up. Doing these two activities monthly will absolutely position you and will absolutely get people to come to you on an ongoing basis. And then there's also things you want to do quarterly that are just anchor things that will accelerate the growth that you have. Number one is industry events. There's whatever niche you're in. Some of you guys said roofing and chiropractic and dentistry. There's events happening in that niche, locally to you, nationally, on a statewide basis. And so you want to try and get live to one of those events at least once per quarter. Get out to an event, whether you got a tabletop booth or whether you got the opportunity to speak. Ideally, speaking is the most powerful play. Once per quarter, find an event that you can plug into, and then constantly be creating new case studies. So think about the clients that you've done business with that you generate good results for. Get them on a Zoom, ask them some questions, get them to say how much you helped them and the results that they've gotten. This feeds your cold outreach process, because you can share those case studies. You can say, hey, look, this client got this result, and I'd like to do the same for you. And so if you can just do the cold outreach on a consistent basis, or if you've got some money, also run Facebook ads to your targeted audience, like moving them to schedule. do a monthly webinar, monthly podcast, and then a quarterly case study, quarterly live event, you will absolutely be able to get your 15 strategy sessions, which is our minimum KPI per month. Any questions on this? I saw some questions coming in, or is this pretty clear? See, networking helps a lot. Chamber of Commerce, BNI type. Yeah, I mean, I think early on, if you can get out to a BNI group where you go once per week and you introduce yourself, you do your commercial, hey, I'm looking to be introduced to all the roofers that you know, that can work, right? It's very low leverage, but it's a good way to start with a seedling of prospects. Any other questions? Cold calling via emailing. John, I think if you're doing cold outreach, right, we're talking about up here, it has to be multi-channel. If all you do is email or all you do is call, you're going to be limiting yourself. But if you call them and you email them and you drop something in the mail to them and you communicate with them on social messenger, you're going to get a better probability of getting their attention. So hopefully that makes sense. So Ryan's saying, what about being featured on other people's stuff? Absolutely. If you can be interviewed on someone else's podcast, or you can do a webinar for someone else, that works. But I want you to be nurturing your list. And so the power of the monthly webinar is that every month you can send 3-4 emails out to your existing prospect base, telling them about the webinar. And when it's done, you can send the recording. Hey, in case you missed it, here's the recording. And then it's your content that you've created. So you can then take that webinar recording and put it up on YouTube, and you can put it on iTunes, and you can start to create an inbound engine behind it. And so that's why I like for you to create your own content in addition to getting on other people's stuff. Excellent. All right. Just give me a 1 in comments here if we're clear, like kind of on that piece. We want 15 strategy sessions per month. We find when you do these things consistently and well, getting your 15 strategy sessions, it starts to happen naturally, right? Now, in addition to that, we want to have we want to have an appointment funnel where regardless of how they enter, they can schedule in, they can get a reminder sequence, they can get warmed up and excited so that we get people to show up to our appointments, right? And if we got a show up rate less than 85%, there's an issue there. Something with the reminder sequence or the positioning that happened on the front end. We want people showing up, and we want them showing up pre-positioned, which means they already know a little bit about you and your program. They have some idea about the results that you've gotten for others. So you want to make sure you've built your appointment funnel in that way. And then you want to have a nice tight sales process that you follow every time, right? Where you can ask the right questions. You can help meet where they are in terms of their goals and what they're trying to accomplish. You can show a gap in terms of what they're doing today and how you can help them accomplish the goals that they're after. Ideally, your close ratio is 30% or higher, right? And I know some people close higher than that. I know the average is about 12%, but you want to build your client engine to hit that 30%. And then on the other side of it, we got to make sure we've got a world-class onboarding process where every client gets welcomed. We get their usernames and passwords quickly. We drop something in the mail that impresses and wows them. We want to create world-class onboarding. We got to have a great communication rhythm, which means every month we're checking in with a client. We're showing them what we did. We're painting the vision for where things are headed. And ultimately, we start to put our account management processes in place where we're hiring great account managers and we're training them up and we're removing ourselves from the doing of the work and the retaining of the relationship. And the KPI we're shooting for here is 97%, right? We want to churn less than 3% per month. More than 5%, it starts to become a red flag. Ideally, we're shooting for 3% as kind of the standard gold bearer that we're looking for. And so this is the growth system. We want to build our action plan around this system and these activities daily, weekly, and monthly, and that we're hitting these key KPIs within our business. Give me a yes if that makes sense and it's helpful to kind of see that mapped out. Fantastic. So what I want you to do now is back to our worksheet here, if the goal is 15 strategy sessions per month, what are the missing elements from your marketing strategy today, right? And so I kind of gave you a list to choose from. Do you have a prospect list? Have you identified your dream 100 prospects you really want to work with? Have you joined the association so that you can draft on the affinity of that? Do you have your CRM? I have a complete snapshot we give our members inside High Level that you've got your funnel and all of that stuff built through and that you get the ability. Do you have your niche website? Do you have the appointment funnel where someone can schedule in? Are your personal profiles up to date? Like if I were to look you up right now, does it say you specialize in helping these people in this niche get this outcome? Or is it crickets, right? Are you posting relevant information on your social profile that your ideal client would find beneficial? Have you published a book, right? And this is a great positioning asset to position yourself. On the advertising side, like are you eating your own dog food, so to speak, right? Are you actually doing SEO, pushing out content, building authority on a consistent basis? And then are you doing the basic fundamentals of what we're suggesting in the growth system? What I want you to do is pick for this quarter at least 3 to 5 of these that you're going to focus on, right? Highlight it or circle it. What about customer nurture sequences? Do you recommend those? Absolutely. So ideally, when you reach out to someone or they opt in for something, you've got a sequence that moves them to appointment, and then you've got a long-term sequence that's touching them every month with some value-added content. And ideally, you're running webinars and doing podcasts, which is touching them with topical relevant stuff on a very, very consistent basis. Yeah. Mike, pick the ones that are going to have the biggest impact. I don't know where you're at in your business right now. Some of us are pretty well established. It's like, okay, I've got all this stuff. I just need to really maybe dial in my appointment funnel. And I got to get my consistency with these monthly activities, right? For others of us, if you're just getting started, then it's really like, I got to get this prospect list and I got to get my daily outreach going to create conversations and to create appointments. One, if you feel like you've got your stuff picked. 2, if you're like, I need more time, still working on it. Raymond, fantastic. How about the rest of you? Maybe you're in your Google Doc. Michelle's still working on it. John's good to go. You guys, a couple more minutes. But when you think about the other critical activities, right? Obviously, one thing we have to get done in the fourth quarter. We know how many clients we want. We know how much recurring revenue we want. We know we need at least 15 strategy sessions probably to hit that target. What are some of the other initiatives, as you think about it right now, within delivery, like within what you deliver? It could be your SEO, your pay-per-click, your Facebook ads, whatever your service program looks like. What are some of your key initiatives on the delivery side? When it comes to retention, we should always be thinking like, what can we improve on retention? Maybe it's your gifting strategy. Maybe it's, you need to build out your onboarding process. Maybe it's your reporting. You need to dial in the reporting to make it simpler and clearer. What are you doing on retention? And then on the team scale side of the equation, what do you need to do team-wise? Is there some key hire that you need to put? Maybe you need a marketing assistant. Maybe you need an account manager. Maybe you need an operations director. Systems and procedures wise, do you have playbooks for each of the different areas in the business? Or is this something you're still working on? Is this something that's a big issue? Just seeing some reporting so that clients aren't left in the dark. So what we recommend for reporting, you want to have something that is simple enough that they can see how much did I spend, how many leads did I generate, what's my average cost per lead, and then what's my return on investment. You can have a million other reports in terms of analytics, in terms of click-through rates, in terms of like ranking data. But if you drown them in that information, it doesn't usually work out well. So, if you can just lead with the key data, hey, here's how much you spent. Here's what we got in terms of ROI. Here's what we're working on. Here's what we need you to do. And then open up for them to say, hey, what's going on with this, that, or the other. Like, you can always fill in gaps, but don't overwhelm them with information. Mike says he's been using agency analytics. That's a great tool. We use a tool called NinjaCat, a little more expensive. We also use a tool called Searchlight that integrates with our client CRM systems and shows outcome return. But lots of different reporting platforms. the most affordable and kind of more accessible for most agencies, less than 7 figures or multiple 7 figures, is agency analytics. Very affordable, and it does a lot of the key things you would want it to do. All right, type plan in comments if you feel clear, like you feel like you've got the plan, you know what the goal is. Maybe you got some more work to do, but you've got an idea what the activities are that you need to put in place. See some plans coming in. Michelle, it's called Agency Analytics. I don't know if Jeremy or somebody else can drop a link for her. It's called Agency Analytics. Okay, so we built the plan. So it's like we set the goals, we built the action plan. I want to bring you back to reality just for a minute here, which is thinking again where we are right now. I want you in this box, everybody come down to roadblocks ahead. And I want you in the bottom left-hand corner where it says current reality. I want you to put in how many clients, how much recurring revenue right now. I don't want to know how many projects you're doing on a consistent basis. I just want to know how many clients, how much recurring revenue. I want you to put that in this box. So it could be 10 clients, 12K MRR, right? That's what we're looking for in that particular box. And if you want to copy that over into the chat, that way I know where you're at and I can make sure I'm not pressing too far ahead, that would be awesome. And then over on the right side, quarterly goal. So we spent a lot of time, right? We mapped out like where we want to be by the end of this quarter. I want you to put that down in the far right corner, which is how many clients, how much recurring revenue, where are we going? What's the outcome that we're shooting for? And it should be just a matter of scrolling up your page a little bit because we already worksheeted this. I just want you to put it in the bottom column here. What's the quarterly goal? How many clients, how much recurring revenue by the end of the quarter? And then in the middle column, I've got this column called roadblocks. And if getting to that goal was as easy as sitting on a session like this, writing down a goal, mapping out a basic action plan, we would all get there, right? We would all be, running 7-figure and multiple 7-figure agencies. But the reality is we don't all get there. Like a lot of us get stuck. A lot of us, get bottlenecked along the way. And it's a function of these roadblocks, right? Let's face it, things are going to come up. The client, isn't answering your call, or the sales calls aren't converting, or the client is calling in and they want to cancel and you got a bigger churn problem than you were expecting. You hired that team member, but they don't know what to do. And so they either need to be trained or need to hire somebody else, right? The fact is there's going to be roadblocks. And the only way you're going to get to that goal is if you get really good, or you get the resources that you need in order to get around those roadblocks and get through those roadblocks as quickly and efficiently as possible. And so I just want you to spend a couple minutes getting clear on what those roadblocks for you are. Like, why aren't you already at that level that you're shooting for? Why haven't you accomplished that goal or that target? Because again, the clearer we can be on what it takes to beat those roadblocks, the better we can be at accomplishing those goals. Existing agency sucking you dry, right? How do I free up my time so that I can focus on the niche agency and not spend all my day with my legacy clients? Hire a VA that lets me focus on my daily activities, says Shaz. Excellent. Okay. So you've got the plan. I mean, if nothing else, our goal for today's session was to help you get laser focused on where you want to go by the end of the quarter. Ideally, you get your goal written down, you got your action plan and the key things you need to focus on. Give me a 1 in comments if this was helpful. Like if you feel like you got some insights, you got some clarity, you got some focus. Amazing, amazing, amazing. So good. And you did something a lot of people don't. Like they don't invest the time to set these goals, to write these goals down. Be sure you put them front and center. Be sure that you work the plan. Reality is you have the best plan in the world, but if you don't take massive action every single day, you're not going to get where you're wanting to go. So with that said, those were the main things we were going to cover on today's session. I did tell you at the beginning that if you're open for it, I'd love to kind of walk you through the 7-figure agency coaching and mentorship program, how we can help you implement this plan, how we can shortcut a lot of the activities that you want to put in place, how we can help you get things done quicker and actually get to the outcomes that you're after. So if you're open for that and you want to stick around, would love to share this with you. If you're not, you're like, you know what, I built my plan, I'm ready to rock and roll, feel free to hop off. That's completely cool. You will not hurt my feelings at all. Okay, so I want to talk a little about the 7-figure agency coaching and mentorship program. On this session, I'm going to talk about what it is, who it's for, who it's not for. We talked about these stages of agency growth, from stability to scale to significance, to actually being a multiple 7-figure agency with Titans. Our coaching and mentorship program, where you can come to our intensives and you can plug in, is really built for agencies doing at least $10,000 per month. So if you're at less than 10K, which means you're kind of in that startup phase, we have a training called On-Ramp. So if you're at startup, which I think a lot of you guys are, I've opened up a separate breakout room with Henry Adams. Guys, is the breakout room ready to go? Mike's in On-Ramp. Fantastic. If you're at startup and you feel like you need that additional training, that additional how-to on how to do the cold outreach and how to do some of this stuff, On-Ramp would be perfect for you. You can hop into that breakout room now. If you're over 10K, I think you probably want to know about the 7-figure agency coaching and mentorship program. It will absolutely accelerate your growth. And I'd love to walk through it with you as quickly and briefly as possible. You can decide whether it's a good fit or not. Is the breakout room open? Yeah. All right, you can see it if you hit breakouts now. If you want to hop into that breakout for getting started, join here. You should see that. I see a bunch of you have gone in there. Excellent. So again, if you're in startup, hop into that room. If you're kind of past that and you're interested in learning about the 7-figure agency coaching and mentorship, stick with me. I'll walk you through it. This is a no pressure opportunity. If it's a fit, amazing. If it's not a fit, that's totally fine as well. And if you're in On-Ramp, you probably want to hear about if you're in On-Ramp, but you're out of the 10K, feel free to stick around. I'll walk you through exactly what this is and how it works. All right. So I spent a lot of time thinking about achievement, because I think if you're at 10K or more in monthly recurring revenue, you've got a successful agency. You've got the fundamentals for starting a successful agency. And there's nothing I can teach you that's new under the sun, right? Whether it's how to fill your funnel or run webinars or how to deliver better results, the information is there. And I've been really studying to try and figure out what is it that makes one member like Chris Rodriguez or Tony Ricketts or Austin Hauser go to multiple 7 figures in 6 to 9 months. And there's other people that have that same information, but they don't seem to get off the blocks. They don't seem to get things going. And it comes down to the ultimate success formula that Tony Robbins teaches. And I'm a big fan of Tony Robbins and T. Harv Eker and all of these guys. But really the ultimate success formula boils down to being clear on what you want, getting really clear on why you want it, getting excited about it, and then taking massive action, right? And I think oftentimes we start to know what we want. I want to build a 7-figure agency. I want to make more money. I want to have more freedom. We don't necessarily let ourselves get excited about it. We don't really resonate with the reasons we want it. But oftentimes we're just not taking the action, right? At the end of the day, we know if we took the consistent action that was necessary to get the outcomes that we're trying to accomplish, we can absolutely get anything we want in life. And then making sure that we try until we succeed, right? This is the ultimate success formula. If you get clear on what you want, you take massive action, and then you hit obstacles and you keep taking action and you keep trying until you break through, you can absolutely accomplish this outcome. You can build a 7-figure, a multiple 7-figure, even an 8-figure digital marketing agency. But what usually happens in life and in business is this, right? I don't know if you guys can see the screen really clearly, but I'm excited. I'm going to build a 7-figure. I'm going to get this outcome. I'm going to grow my business. And then something happens. Ugh, this is hard. And then it's working. I messed up. Give up the good for the great. I think I'm going bankrupt. Give me a yes if you can resonate with this. You've experienced this in your life. I know I do, even today. And I was just on with Chris Rodriguez, who's now doing, I think she said she's doing $280,000 a month of recurring. She's grown extremely quickly. And she's experiencing this. And so this is why having a program like Seven Figure Agency is so valuable. It's so important, is that yes, we can set a goal. Yes, we can build an action plan. Yes, we can actually take massive action, but we need a community, a peer group of people that are going through these same struggles, that have gotten through those up points and those down points, that can coach us along, that can keep us inspired, that can keep us taking action even when it gets hard, even when things don't work out. And the other reason is successful people. As I look at the agencies that go to multiple seven figures quickly, that have success in life, they tend to pay for speed. Yes, you can figure this out on your own. Yes, you can figure out how to do all of this stuff, but our most valuable asset, the thing that we can never get back, is our time, right? And so if we can find a mechanism to reduce the amount of time it takes to get to the goals we're after, that's the most valuable investment we can make. And so people, they pay for speed. They pay for shortcuts. They pay for things that are going to move them along in life faster. And so that's why I created the Seven Figure Agency Coaching and Mentorship Program. When I started my agency, this stuff didn't exist, right? And I was just kind of figuring it out as I went. And so I created the Seven Figure Agency Blueprint Training, which was a training course that people went through. And some people crushed it, but other people got stuck. And it was because they needed ongoing support. They needed access to that community. And so that's why we created a Seven Figure Agency program. I'm going to talk a little bit about who it's for and who it's not for. Right fit. I think the right fit for this is a more advanced program. I said our average member is doing $71,000 in monthly recurring revenue. So, I mean, you have to legitimately be running an agency. You have to be doing at least $10,000 a month, ideally more like 30 to 50 to really plug in and get amazing results in this community. You have to be abundance minded. I mean, there's going to be other people in your similar niche. You have to be the kind of person that says, look, I'm going to take massive action. I want to be around people maybe a little bit more successful than me. I want to share what's working. I want to learn from others. And if that's you and you've got an abundance mindset, this is probably a perfect fit for you in your business. Some examples of the members, Jim Aline doing 250, just sold the roof to Job Nimbus. That's a roofing marketing industry software. Austin Hauser went from 2K to 92,000 over the last 12 months, working in the painting niche, base coat marketing. Chris Rodriguez, who I've mentioned a couple of times, works in the martial arts industry, went from 30,000 to 280,000 in monthly recurring. Jen and Kelsey Altram, they work in the auto repair niche, websites, SEO, pay-per-click. Grew from 13K when they joined the program a couple of years ago to seven figures as of our last intensive, to right now they just crossed multiple seven figures, which means they're at that Titan status, which is really amazing. Tony Ricketts in the landscaping and lawn care industry from 60K to 212K. Josh Konigsberg, law firm marketing pros, works with attorneys, added 100K in NMR in less than a year. So, I mean, these are right fit, right? If this is you and you can kind of see yourself, maybe even a situation where you're not where you want to be, but you know you've got the raw materials, you're willing to take massive action. That's the kind of room you'd be in. That's the kind of people you'd be around. Wrong fit, this definitely isn't for you if you're just getting started. You have no idea how to do digital marketing. Like if you don't know anything about websites and SEO and pay-per-click, you don't know how to deliver at any level, this isn't going to be a good fit for you. You've never sold an agency client before, you definitely go check out OnRamp. This isn't for you. And we're pretty strong on this, right? The power of our business, the power of our community are the members, right? And so we need to make sure we only let in people that are the right fit, that have the right energy, that are at least at a level that they can contribute to the group and get value from the group at the same time. So give me a one if that makes sense, like kind of the distinction here between a right fit, what we're looking for, and a wrong fit. Hopefully that's super clear at this point. All right, cool. Excellent. Thanks for engaging with me on this, guys. And thanks for sticking around. This is the optional portion here where I'm talking about kind of what it is, who it's for, who it's not for. So I'm going to walk through the fundamentals of what it is without getting super, technical. First of all, you get a comprehensive training portal, which we give you all of our trainings on how to land clients, deliver results that crush it for your clients, retain your clients at the highest level in terms of all the swipes and deploys and everything you need, and scale the business, which is the key positions, the hiring documents, the playbooks, and everything like that. We've got great training, and it's very step-by-step. It's very actionable. This this gives you a lot of the help that you need in order to gain access to everything in this model. And I think it's one of the reasons our members succeed is that usually there's something that you need to fill in the gaps on, something you need to kind of put in place, and we can take it out of the box for you and help you put it into play and take something that might take you years to develop and be ready to implement it within a matter of days. We also have deep dive training in everything from the growth system. So when I say you should be doing cold outreach, we give you the snapshot, we give you the exact emails to send, we give you the call scripts to consistently be doing your cold outreach. For the monthly stuff, we have a swipe and deploy of all the webinars that I run that you can quickly rebrand for yourself, as well as the email sequences, the promo sequences, so that you can run the monthly webinar without having to create those webinars, but really just have something you can build for your particular brand, and everything in between, right? I want to beat a dead horse. We cover all of this stuff. Just give me a yes in the comments if you think just having access to our swipe and deploys, our training materials would help you accomplish the goals that you've set out for this quarter, as well as the goals that you're shooting for over the next 2 years and beyond. Just give me a yes in the comments. I know we got people live, so I want to pause. Awesome. Appreciate that. And we have what we call the 7-figure agency path, which helps you figure out, like, there's a lot of material in the training. I think a lot of times you wind up overwhelmed. It's like, man, there's so much training in here. What should I focus on first? What should I do? And so we created this 7-figure agency path that says, okay, where are you at right now in terms of monthly recurring revenue? And then we help you kind of chip off the block the next thing you should focus on, the next thing that you should do within your business. So that's like the training aspect of what we have in place. We also have a super supportive Facebook group. So a lot of times we need 3 things. We need a plan, we need tools, and we need help. The training material is your tools. It's all the raw materials. The help is probably the most powerful piece. And so a lot of you guys are in the digital marketing agency success group, which has like 20,000 people in it. And I post in there pretty consistently. Our members only group is only for our paying members, right? And that's where a lot of the great conversation happens, where you can ask a question and get dozens of really good answers from smart people that are doing this full time that have the answers. I think the Facebook group in and of itself justifies the investment in the program. And you get a peer group, right? How many of you guys have heard you become an average of the people that you hang out with most? Just give me a 1 if you've ever heard that. I know I believe that. And so I'm always looking to up-level my peer group. You're going to become part of our peer group, right? You're going to be hanging out with us at live events. You're going to be on our Facebook group. You're going to be around people that are ahead of you, people that are below you, people that are similar to you, but it's absolutely going to elevate your subconscious belief in what's happening and what's possible in your business. So when you get started, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to build a 90-day game plan. You're going to be paired up with one of our coaches that has actually runs an niche agency that is actually built based on this 7 figures and beyond. They're going to sit with you and build a plan for your specific needs, which is where are you right now? And, it's kind of piggybacking on what we did today. What are the raw materials you have in place? What's the goal? And hold you to like what you're going to get done in the quarter to actually get the outcomes that you're after. Give me a yes in the comments if you think that would be helpful to know you've got like a plan built for you specifically, and somebody that's been there, that's kind of looking over your shoulder and helping to troubleshoot with you and helping to guide you down that track. Yeah, for sure. And our success coaches are, I think, the best of the best. These are people that we hired that have a coaching certificate. Again, they're actual agencies that came through the 7-figure agency program, that implemented, have built the 7 figures, and now they believe, like I do, you're going to learn as much by teaching as you do by doing, right? So learn, do, teach. So they like to help others come down the track that you've come down. We've also got a great, group of specialty coaches, which there's specific aspects of your business you really have to dial in. Your cold outreach, your financials, your mindset, your account management team, your Facebook ad strategy, your high level stuff. So we've got specialty coaches in each of these different areas that you have access to jump on quick one-to-ones, to tag specifically in the Facebook group, and know that they're compensated by 7-figure agency and willing to help you out and kind of like help solve whatever that thing is for you in the business right now. And we got amazing mentors. And these are people that have come through the program and they're in the Facebook group, they're leading skill sessions that are available to support you. I really think having a peer group that you have access to and having mentors and coaches, in my mind, is one of the fastest way to buy speed, because you can get directly to the information you need and somebody that you know is there to support you. And then we've got sessions that we do all throughout the month that you're all able to plug into to help you get the outcomes that you're after. Every month we do a mastermind, which means every first Monday of the month we get together as an entire community. The next one will be this coming Monday, which hopefully if you're on right now, you want to be part of this, you're going to plug into it. And that's where we get together, we look back at the previous month, we set our new goal for the following month, and then we break out into peer groups of similar size for about a 45-minute span of time, and you get to know the community and you start to get answers to your questions. And it's a really powerful way to kick off the month. And then we've got continual support. So in addition to the training that you've got access to self-serve, in addition to the coach that you're going to be assigned, that you're going to be working with on an ongoing basis, we have Monday Win the Week, which is every Monday at 10 a.m. You log in and you just set the top 3 things you're focused on for that week. You get filled with energy. You keep yourself in a state of momentum. It's optional, but if you're the kind of person that isn't consistently hitting the things that you set out to do, I highly recommend that session. Wednesdays at 1 is our breakout session, which is our breakthrough session, which regardless of where you're at, sometimes your stuck point is getting appointments. There's a breakthrough session specifically for client acquisition, getting appointments within your business. And there's breakouts for each of the different areas. There's one for Facebook ads, there's one for high level and setting up the funnel. There's one for operations, there's one for account management. And so you and your team can plug into those breakouts and get the support that you need. Thursday, I do usually a couple times per month on Thursdays, I or one of the coaches is doing a training on a very specific topic, like a workshop or an implementation. And there's open Q&A every Friday at 1 p.m. Lots of support, right? Lots of places to come in to get your questions answered and keep yourself in momentum. Give me a 1 in the comments if you feel like having access to that level of support and knowing that you've got a community you can lean on will help move you forward faster. Jeff's giving me a 1, amazing. And then the other thing that we do that I think is probably the most powerful aspect of this whole, the whole program is we do intensives, which means we get together live in Miami 3 times per year. We spend 2 full days rolling up our sleeves, working on our businesses instead of in our businesses. We do make these available hybrid for members, which means if you can't make it to Miami, you can still plug in virtually. And there's a group of us that are on virtual. It's facilitated by Justin, our member success coordinator. But being live, there's something I can't put my hands on it, but there's something powerful that happens when you get out of your day-to-day and you get in a live room with real people and you share ideas and you break bread. And so the members that we've seen go the fastest are at just about every intensive, and they're there getting new ideas, getting new energy, getting re-energized. The next one is actually in November, November 14th and 15th. And so when you sign up, you'll get your 90-day game plan, you'll get plugged into the training, you'll be invited to come to the intensive and spend the 2 days with us in Miami. It'd be a great way to get yourself plugged in, indoctrinated, and really into a state of momentum to close the year and to kind of move things forward faster into the next year. So I talked at high level about the logistics of like what's included in the program. What are you like you guys are on here? This is absolutely like optional at this point, and you're only here because you kind of felt like there might be some value in this for you. Can anybody share like why you think this is right for you based on where you're at in your business right now? Anybody brave enough to share? How about you, Jeff Anderson? I'm going to unmute you for a second.
I think the accountability to stay focused and stay at it, because I think sometimes it's easy to get discouraged, especially if you're floating out by yourself. So I think the community part would be advantageous.
Absolutely. So kind of having that additional support, having that accountability. You know, we all know we want to do things, but unless we've got some pressure behind us, it doesn't get done. I think that's powerful. I think the other thing a lot of people say, you know, is it's the speed, right? It's like just knowing that I can shortcut all of this stuff, get access to the materials, get access to the insights that I need go where I want to go sooner is a big reason this is a good fit. I was going to play because I haven't been able to play many. Can you hear this?
We run Lyft Auto Repair Marketing, and we are a niche to auto repair shops.
In terms of our niche agency, we were honestly at zero. We didn't have a niche agency. It was a general marketing agency, doing a little over 10K a month. And then now, in current time, we just closed February around 110K in MRR for others.
Before joining Seven Figure Agency, we were struggling with getting new clients. We didn't know who to go after because we weren't in a certain niche at all. So when we joined Seven Figure Agency, it was nice to have a clear path of having a niche and then going after those clients in that niche. And joining Seven Figure Agency helped that and helped us gain new clients and be able to scale.
Well, in terms of life now, obviously with more financial means, it's a lot more time flexibility, and we're able to go on a lot more vacations with our children, and we're actually moving closer to our extended family as well. So yeah, having all this additional means makes things a lot easier for us.
Wow, there's been so many things that we've implemented since joining Seven Figure Agency. We've implemented webinars, monthly webinars. We've implemented a podcast. We've implemented a Dream 100. We've just done so many things. Like everything that Josh Nelson teaches us, we've implemented. So everything's been helpful and everything's just helped us grow significantly.
I would say to them, stop thinking and just do it. Just take action and take a leap of faith in terms of joining the agency, because it definitely changed the whole trajectory of what we thought our marketing business could be.
Awesome. And actually, they just crossed multiple seven figures, which is pretty awesome.
I am Dan Hucker. This is Kelsey.
All right. So pricing, how much does this cost? The way that we structure it, we want it to be an infinite return on investment, which means it feels like a lot of money, but the reality is, as long as you're spending that money as generating return, who cares, right? So just like we do with our clients, like any of us selling digital marketing agency services, if you charge $5,000 a month, but you're generating $25,000 in revenue, who cares, right? They're happy to make that payment. And we put a lot of value and a lot of expense into this program. When you think about not just the training that we've developed over the years, but investing in our coaches, investing in the live event experience, investing in the accountability that you need to get things done, there's some hard costs, right, associated with this. So the way we price it, it's only $3,000 per month, and it includes my entire business model, all the swipes and deploys, all our webinars, our onboarding sequence, our playbooks in terms of how we run our operations. And in my mind, at $3,000 a month, if I can help you land one client, two clients ever, it justifies itself into perpetuity. And that's not our goal, right? Our goal is to help you land multiple clients every single month and build a multiple seven-figure business. And if that's the goal and that's the outcome, and you truly believe in investing in speed and getting around the peer group that's going to elevate you, it really should be a no-brainer. With that said, like we do like to make special offers for those of you that are on live, and a lot of you guys are still with me live, and you've sat through the whole planning session and you decided to stick around. And so we want to incentivize you to take action now. And again, our next intensive is right around the corner. So we'd like to get you signed up now so that we can get you plugged in. We can get you out there in Miami. So webinar special pricing for those of you that are ready to take action on this. We will knock that down from $3,000 a month to just $1,497 per month. And that price is like a webinar action price, right? So if you want to take advantage of this, if this feels right for you right now where you sit in your business, you can go to the link that he just put into the chat, or you go to sevenfigureagency.com/start. Again, once you sign up, it'll be $1,497 into perpetuity. So that number is not going to jump to $3,000 next month. That's your monthly fee. You'll get access to all the training. You'll get assigned your coach. We'll plug you into the Facebook group. We'll get you set up so that you can attend the intensive in November as a full member. And it'll be a great experience. And we will definitely help you go to where you're trying to get to faster. So that's the call right now. Go to sevenfigureagency.com/start. Get yourself registered. I'm excited to help you grow and scale your digital marketing agency. You can either hit this QR code, you can go to sevenfigureagency.com/order. Again, that pricing is available while we're still in session here. The other thing I want to say is, in addition to it being a great deal, which at $14.97 per month, it to me is a no-brainer, right? And you guys have seen this is a proven model. We've now got 95 agencies that have grown to 7 figures following this exact path. And we've got lots of agencies that have joined this program already at 7 figures and saying, like, I just want to be around cool other agencies. I want to get some of the insights to grow even faster, that have plugged into this program and just love it. And they come to every single intensive. But I also want this to be risk-free for you. So fact is, $1,500 a month, yes, it makes sense. But if you're not sure, you're like, I don't know how well this is going to work or if it's going to be really beneficial for me. I want you to know that this is backed by 100% money back guarantee. So if you sign up and you get access to the training, you get plugged into the community and you don't love it, like literally love it, and say, I see exactly how I'm going to get my ROI. I see exactly how this is going to be integral to the growth of my agency. Just let me know. Like, as you guys know, I run about a $5 million a year digital marketing agency, Plumbing and HVAC SEO. 7-figure agencies also doing very, very well. I'm not in the business of taking money from people and leaving them high and dry. Like, I want it to be a win-win. And so you can rest assured, when I say your money back guaranteed, come check it out. Come spend some time with the coaches. If you don't love it, we'll give you the money back and you'll still get the value of access to all of our material, access to the community, access to those relationships. Give me a 1 in the comments if that sounds fair. Instead of $3,000, it's $14.97 while we're on, and 100% money back guarantee. All right. So everyone that just put a 1, I want you to go sign up right now. Like, literally, go to sevenfigureagency.com/order, get yourself registered, get plugged in. Like, it really is a no-brainer opportunity. And I'll be seeing you live in Miami in a couple of weeks. So again, that's the deal. sevenfigureagency.com/order. Next intensive is November 14th and 15th. Ideally, if you can make it live, please come to Miami. We're going to be at the the JW Marquis Marriott. It's a world-class experience. All of our members are going to be there. It's amazing. But if you can't make it live, it is hybrid, which means you can log in virtually. You can bring your team and they can log in virtually. If you can't make it live, definitely earmark the 14th and 15th. That's when the next one is. I want you to hear from Barry Nix. Again, I didn't get a chance to share a lot of these examples, but Barry's a great example.
I'm a door and gate combination, and we primarily serve garage door and gate contractors. Prior to joining 7-figure agency, we were at about $5,500 a month. My MRR now is $97,361. When I joined 7-figure, it's because I was truly frustrated with trying to figure out how to package what I was selling, how to price it, how to communicate that to the client, how to market it to the client, how to retain clients. I was having struggles with scaling the business. And after I joined 7-figure agency and went through the training module, hopped on the Zoom calls, it started like filling in pieces of the puzzle, and it started just coming together. And it took a while. I mean, I think the more you pour into it, the faster it's going to fill in and make sense. But for me, I think we immediately, like, say by the end of the first year, we were at about 30,000, 35,000. And it just went up from there. The more I learned, the more we grow. And that's all from 7-figure agency. If you're really wanting to learn how to scale and grow and go deep into the digital marketing agency business, then for me, I would say jump in and do it. It's a no-brainer. Don't think about it. I think the number one thing you can do is to take action and go as fast as possible. If you're sure you want to be in digital marketing, I would say this is the best place to go. Yeah, I mean, the intensives are unbelievable because you get to rub shoulders and gel and communicate with people who are going through things you've already gone through. And for me, I just believe that when I get here, I'm going to connect with the people that are going to give me the information that I'm looking for. And I also believe, more importantly, that I'm going to be able to assist and help other people that need to hear for something that I've struggled with and mastered. I look at the intensive If I don't go, I'm losing money. When I first joined Seven Figure Agency, I got on a Zoom call with Josh to go over, foundational, where you at, and to set goals. He's so kind and generous and open with his strategy, and clearly very successful. But he told me in that meeting that, if I was selling 3 to 5 new clients a month and able to learn how to retain, that would be, the key to this. I didn't think that would be doable. I'm almost at 100,000 a month, and this last week he sent me a video of one of those strategies called I have, and he's like, look how far are you from. And to me, he's like the ultimate, accountability coach and mentor. I told him yesterday, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. So I'm forever grateful.
So good example there. Barry actually came in. He didn't have his niche. He chose one niche, didn't work out, got things off the ground in the garage door space. Again, like you said in the video, $100,000 a month in recurring revenue. And really, that's what it's all about, right? Our mission is to help 500 agencies go to 7 figures over the next 12 to 24 months. I mean, over the next 5 years, so that you can make more money, have more freedom, have a bigger impact. If you're on this still, you've kind of indicated you're over 10,000 a month recurring. You kind of have expressed that you want to move faster. This is the place. I mean, you can definitely hang out in the digital marketing agency success group. You can, check out my free material, but there's nothing that's going to move you forward faster than kind of penning up yourself, making the investment, getting access to the premium stuff, like the premium content, the premium support, and letting me be your coach, letting our community support you along the way. Let's see. Matt says, if I sign up for the course, do I get a fancy 7-figure agency shirt too? Yes, Matt, go sign up now. 7figureagency.com/order. We'll send you one of the 7-figure agency t-shirts. Hopefully, more important than that, though, we'll give you the insights you need to go further, faster. Let's see. Any questions? I'd love to open up for any questions that you guys might have. If you haven't signed up yet, again, we're locking in the $1,500 discount for you. Now's your time. 7figureagency.com/order. Excited to get you started. Excited to get you off the ground.
Josh, I don't know if Scott is still here, but Scott Culler, he had a question.
Okay. Scott, did you have a question? You want to type it in or you want to unmute? Maybe not. Okay.
Thanks, Josh. Thanks for unmuting me. I was trying to type rapidly there. Yeah, just kind of, we're a general agency, and I was just kind of wondering if you could share some ways that you go about selecting a niche. I mean, we have a couple clients that are like in the same niche, and maybe that's a way. Or, I know I've heard in the past people talking about like picking something that is an interest of yours or a hobby of yours. So maybe just some guidance on there. If I can't think of any particular hobby or something, like I like fishing, so should I go for fishing charters or something like that?
No, and again, this is one of the first things, if you don't already have your niche, which a lot of you guys do, but if you don't, this is one of the first things we cover in 7-figure agency fundamentals. We walk you through an entire framework for selecting a good niche, vetting it, and then you have access to coaches to kind of say, hey, is this a good one? Like, am I going to be putting my energy in the right place? I would say, choose something that you've already got some wins in, you've already got some access in, because you're going to need those wins in order to close the deals. And go down that path rather than just based on personal preference. Like our agency's in plumbing. I don't have any experience in plumbing. I don't have a background or a passion for plumbing, but I had a couple of clients. I knew what we could do to generate results. And so we went down that track and it's worked really well. If you like it, all the better, right? If you got a passion for it, that's fantastic. But don't let that be the only determinant. Again, I would suggest, get access to the coaching and support to help you make sure you choose the right niche, and get into it as quickly as possible.
Perfect. Really appreciate the insight.
Roberto recently joined. Roberto, excited to have you with us. Fantastic stuff. Here's an example. Like some of us are already pretty successful in our agencies. Like, I hear 7-figure agency. I hear what you're doing here. But I'm already pretty successful. I don't really need a lot of help. A good example of this is Matt Platt, Restaurant Marketing That Works. It's going to play kind of his experience with seven-figure agency.
Before joining seven-figure agency, my agency was seven-figure. I was at a good revenue point, but I was stuck at a bottleneck of how to scale with systems, processes, and honestly needing advice from people that had already been there. And in other masterminds I had been in, everybody was down at the bottom. They were in, $20,000 a month, $30,000 a month, and they weren't able to give me the advice I needed to scale correctly. Why I joined this group is kind of funny. 2017, I'm sitting at Traffic and Conversions, front row, getting ready to watch the guy speak. I didn't know the guy who was sitting next to me was a speaker named Jonathan. And we had a good conversation. He walks up on stage. I'm kind of fanboying. 3 years later, July of 2020, I was looking for a new group. I had inquired about the event. I got an email from Josh saying, "Hey, Matt, it's Josh from Seven-Figure Agency. I love what you're doing. I remember having a great conversation with you 3 years ago at Traffic and Conversions." That showed me the person steering the ship was in the right place. So before joining seven-figure agency, my biggest pain point was understanding scaling the process. We had systems and processes in place, but it was for under seven figures. And I was trying to find advice from somebody who had already been there, because at that point, all of my advice and my friendships and other masterminds are coming from people who were smaller than me, and they couldn't relate to my problems. So I was looking for somebody that had already been on that path and been down it a long time. So one experience that sticks out to me about joining seven-figure agency was actually 2 weeks ago. I was flying into Dallas for the Go High Level event. I was on the panel. I was flying in the morning, flying out at night. And I like to have conversations when I come into town that are deeper than just a, "Hey, how you doing?" And so the first person I knew about was Jonathan Vance. And I knew Jonathan was a guy that's in the same level I am, that has a lot of cool things going on in his business. And the fact that I could shoot him a text and he drove over to a restaurant and we talked business for 3 hours before I went to high level was great, because it's those depth of relationships and those conversations with people that are on the same path that you can't find anywhere else. So if you're looking at joining seven-figure agency, I would say look at it this way. Number one, I heard David John speak a few years ago. He said if he walks into a room and he's the richest, smartest person there, he leaves. And so I think in this group, you're going to find people at all levels that will allow you to grow your business. The other aspect is a roadmap. We all have our phones that get us from here to Kentucky, and we have all the little turns you got to make. You don't have that in business. And I feel like masterminds like this with seven-figure agency, with Johnson's leadership, and the other people like myself in it, you can already avoid those potholes, avoid those wrong turns, and get where you're going a little faster. It's not a shortcut. It's just a little faster. So my business with regards to how it's changed since joining seven-figure agency is that it's given me more of a blueprint. I already had the focus, I had the determination, I knew I had the products, but I needed that blueprint for the next level. When you've got a coach like Josh that's already been there numerous times, it's a lot easier to understand how to get where you want to go. And so it's more clarity and seeing that, hey, before I was like, how do I become a $200,000 a month agency? Now I'm like, how do I become a $2 million a month agency?
So that's the scoop. You've heard from a number of the members. We built our plan today. For those of you still on, this was optional. So thanks for giving me the opportunity to share what it's about. If you feel like this is right for you, now's my call, right? Go to sevenfigureagency.com/order, get yourself registered, get yourself set up. And I always like to think about, best case, worst case when it comes to these types of things, because you've sat through this for an hour. You're never going to have more information than what you have right now about what this is and what it's for. We built the plan, right? We know where we want to try and go this quarter. We know where we want to go over the next 2 years. We know that in order to get to where we want to go, we need a world-class peer group, and successful people invest in speed, right? They invest in coaching programs like this. They invest in resources that will help them get the outcomes that they're after. So you have a no risk proposition with a discount in this moment. If you go to sevenfigureagency.com/order, $14.97 per month, we're going to give you our best, our proven models, our proven support to help you get to seven figures and beyond as quickly as possible. And I like to think like, what's best case, worst case, right? Worst case scenario, you sign up. You pay the $14.97, you get access to the training, you get access to the coaching, you meet some new friends and some new colleagues you're going to work with. Probably come down to Miami, but you decide it's not a good fit, right? Worst case, it's like, you know what? I don't see how this is going to help me. Worst case scenario, you send me a quick text message or you send the team a message. Hey, I need to cancel and I want to request my money back. You get your money back, right? And there's literally nothing lost, right? So that's your worst case scenario. Best case, you plug in, you find it, the material can help you land clients quicker, retain your clients at a higher level, provide better services, attract the right people so you can create the freedom that you're after. And you're able to build a true lifestyle business that provides for your needs, gives you impact, and you've got a peer group that really has your back. Best case, it literally will change your life like it has for a lot of these other members. So Matt is in. Matt, pumped to have you with us. Hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully you see that this is a win-win situation. There's literally no way you can lose. So this is the last time right now before we wrap up. Go to sevenfigureagency.com/order, enter your credit card details. Let's get you kicked off. Let's get you started. Let's get you the support that you need. And I'm excited to have you part of the program, excited to have you part of the group, excited to see you live and in person and just take your business to the next level. So go now, get yourself signed up, get yourself registered. Jeff, welcome aboard, man. Pumped to have you with us. Excited to have you on board. Jeff Anderson, Matt Watson, congratulations, guys. Kudos on taking the step, right? I know you're constantly getting these types of opportunities, like which of these programs is going to be right for you, which one's going to be worth it. Thank you for making that investment in this. And I will do everything I can to make sure you're well supported. Okay, that's it for me. Any other questions before we wrap up? Any other questions here? You can either type it in Zoom. I see Mike Lawrence, Josh Bauman, still on with cameras here. Any other questions for you, Mike? Nope. All right. John, anything for you? John Bowman? No? All right. All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for being on here. For those of you that signed up, welcome. For those of you that didn't, don't feel bad, right? I'm excited to have you here. I'm excited to continue to support you. Like I said, there's no hard feelings if you don't wind up joining the program, but would love to support you further if you do. So that's it for now. Have an amazing afternoon. Let's crush it in the fourth quarter. Let's end the year strong and let's set ourselves up for massive success going into 2024. See you later, everybody. Thank you.